Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to Normandy with me, Patrick Hillier. This is a virtual D-Day from wheelofnormandy.com and I'm here today at the British Normandy Memorial to participate in the Remembrance Day ceremony organised by the Royal British Legion. If you're watching this on the Facebook post, there's a link to the Poppy Appeal for the Royal link on the, and you'll find the link on the Facebook page. If you're watching on the wheelofnormandy.com website, you'll also find the link. So the ceremony is due to start in about 5 minutes. We had a couple of delays with the technology, so I'm making my way as quickly as possible to the fabulous British Normandy Memorial. We'll take part in the ceremony, the wreath laying, and we'll have a look around. If you haven't visited or seen this, the memorial, we'll have a look around after the ceremony is over. So I'm going to flick over to the front camera now, so you can get some of the fabulous view of the place. Good morning, Anne-Marie. Thank you for tuning in. And I know you're going to be participating in another Remembrance Day ceremony in the UK. So I do appreciate that you've found the time to tune into this. As you can probably tell, I'm slightly out of breath because, as usual, I'm running slightly late. So if you've tuned in to these broadcasts before, you'll know that virtual D-Day has been going now for well over 18 months, and we've broadcasted to you from lots of different sites in the Battle of Normandy area. And if you've just tuned in, today we're coming to you from the British Normandy Memorial, the brand new British Normandy Memorial, and we were here on the 6th of June of this year when the memorial was officially opened. Some of you may remember that, the fly past by the Royal Arrows display team. And today we've got absolutely fabulous weather. By the way, if you'd like to let me know where you're viewing from, that'd be great. I can see we've got quite a lot of people already tuned in. And here we are approaching the memorial itself. The names are over 22,000 servicemen and women who fought with or for the British military services during the Battle of Normandy are commemorated. So those who lost their lives in doing so, commemorated on columns, which you see in front of you now. I think there are 160 columns. The memorial itself, when seen from the air, is in the form of a Union flag. And each of the columns represents a day or a couple of days during the period of the Battle of Normandy, the 3 months from June the 6th, 1944. And walking around these colonnades is incredibly moving. Reading those names of the servicemen and women from the Royal Navy, the British Army and the Royal Air Force. So here we are.
Patrick, good morning.
Good morning, Stuart. Good morning. What a fine day it is indeed. How are you?
I'm well indeed, as you can see.
Yeah.
I'm still standing.
Well,
I could fall any moment, but never mind.
I've just been explaining to the people viewing now that this has been organised by the Royal British Legion, and we are here just in time.
Royal Naval Association.
The Royal Naval Association. You're concerned, presumably, because you are a retired Royal Navy officer.
Yes.
Why don't you tell people your name and what your...
Yes, I'm Stuart Miller, and I've had 31 years in the Royal Navy. I lived here 32 years, active in the community, and I am honoured and pleased to be organising and administering this event on Armistice Day.
And how does it make you feel to be here now that the memorial is finally open?
It is an incredible privilege to be in this amazing place, and for London to agree that we may hold this occasion here for the first time in its history, a very short history, which is opened in June this year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much indeed, Stuart. I know you're very busy. The ceremony is about to commence, so I will let you get on with your job, and we'll see you shortly. Thank you. Well, as you can see, quite a few people have arrived and assembled prior to the ceremony. You can see the flags. Mr. Miller wants us to chat with some people here, perhaps.
It's Patrick Hillier.
Hillier.
Hillier, nice to meet you.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, and I'm doing a live broadcast at the moment.
Oh, excellent.
We're going to film the ceremony itself and then do a little walk around the memorial afterwards. But first of all, let me congratulate you and your organisation for this absolutely fabulous installation that we now have here. What a wonderful resource for people with an interest in or relatives from the British Army that served here back in 1944.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very kind of you to say. It's it's a heck of a memorial, isn't it? 22,442 men and women recognised and remembered on the memorial on 160 pillars, and they span from those who landed first light on the 6th of June all the way through to those who sadly lost their lives on the final day of the Battle of Normandy on the 31st of August. So it's been a work of many moons. Credit to George Batts, our founding veteran patron,
who was here last week, I believe.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
yeah. George Batts actually was able to come and visit the memorial for the very first time.
Wonderful.
So it was a deeply emotional experience, as you might imagine.
Along with Harry Billinge, I think.
Harry Billinge came and visited a couple of days later, and on Wednesday, I think it was the 27th of October, we kind of formally welcomed a group of veterans to the memorial for the first time. So we had seven or eight veterans at the memorial, and as you might imagine, watching them walk around the memorial, actually touch the stones and find some of their friends whose names are engraved here was deeply moving.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, and let's hope they and more can come back for the 6th of June commemorations in the summer of next year.
Absolutely, fingers crossed. I mean, we'll do everything that we can. We'll move heaven and earth to make it possible for as many veterans to be here next year as can possibly make it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much indeed. I know the ceremony is going to start quite shortly, so I shall go and set up somewhere. And once again, thank you very much for welcoming us here today.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye. Well, good morning, Elle. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you here. As you can see, people are assembled now for the procession towards the memorial. And if you've just tuned in, we are broadcasting live from the British Normandy Memorial, and on this fabulously beautiful day. And stay tuned, because after the ceremony we will be doing a walk around the colonnades to see some of the names of the brave men and women who gave their lives for the liberation of France back in 1944. And we're very pleased to be welcomed here by the Normandy British Memorial Trust, and we could not have hoped for better weather. As you can see, we've got one of those fabulous Normandy skies today. A few people gathering here, a few familiar faces. Good morning, Vinny, how are you?
Good morning.
Jolly good. And good morning, Rod, how are you, sir?
We are very well.
And Liz. So some friends of ours, some friends of We Love Normandy here, participating in the ceremony.
Over there.
And Johnny's over there. Wonderful. So, Rod, I'll ask you a question. What does it mean to you that now that the memorial is open and you can come and visit and see these names on the columns?
I think it's very, very moving. It's very significant that now they have a memorial to British, but really to everybody that lost their lives in all the wars. And I think it's important to have a central point that you can go and pay tributes.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful place.
It is absolutely fabulous.
Well done the French, well done the Brits.
Well done the French,
good.
well done the
Yeah.
Brits. Yeah. And ladies, have you seen the fabulous view from the?
We have. It's not my first visit.
No, and right down to Gold Beach and to the.
I haven't. It's my first visit, so I shall have a wander around.
Have a wander around, because
I will.
from the statue of the three infantrymen you get a fabulous view of Gold Beach and all the way across to the artificial harbour, the Mulberry Harbour at Armistice. And today the visibility is so spectacular.
I think you have to come in person to find how moving it is to be here. It is just such a tribute. It is really beautiful, and it's so simple.
Well, thank you, Liz.
On a more local point, the memorial to the airmen at Cerisy-la-Salle, to the JB700 Lancaster bomber, we actually found the crew members inscribed on one of the pillars.
Absolutely, because all the names are there.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody from Den Brotheridge, the first officer to be killed on D-Day, courageously taking the bridge at Benouville, to the people who perhaps less well known, but every single one of them is mentioned on the columns.
And remembered.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Rod. I think we'd better set up now and wait for the procession to arrive. Yes. Going to have a quick word with this gentleman. Good morning, John. How are you? You were looking very, very comfortable there. Let me come around this way because I can't see you properly. There we go. So, is this your first visit?
Yes, to
the memorial?
here. I saw this on television a year or so ago. I didn't know I'd ever come here, but
Have you had a chance to walk around yet, or are you going to do that after the ceremony?
I can't walk very well, so
Well,
hence I'm sitting down.
Well, we'll make sure we can get you at least to the statue of the three infantrymen and just have a look at that
Excellent.
fabulous view
Yeah.
over the entirety almost of Gold Beach, which is visible from here. And as you can probably see, if you just on the horizon there, you can see perfectly well today the Mulberry Harbour.
Oh,
So we'll have a look at that later.
yeah, lovely.
Well, I
Yes.
think the ceremony is about to start.
It's about 5 minutes to go. Yes.
Oh, right. Well, you obviously have the best. You obviously have the best seat in the house, John. I'll let you sit there
Somebody's had to
and
bring it with us.
absolutely. I'll let you enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, just a quick hello to some of our viewers. Good morning, Bernard, from Cape Town in South Africa. That's absolutely fantastic. We have people tuning in from so far away. I know some of the some of the soldiers fighting with the British Army in the 50th Infantry Division who arrived here on D-Day were from South Africa. So it's great to have people tuning in from Cape Town. Anne-Marie, thank you very much. I'm glad we've been able to show you these pictures. Great to see so many people tuning in. I know it's quite early, especially in the United States. I don't suppose we'll have too many viewers from the US today, but we have plenty of viewers from Great Britain and Europe. And it may well be that the procession is going to begin. We're broadcasting.
Okay. How can we get a copy of this?
Okay.
Is it possible to?
Absolutely. Sorry, what was your name?
My name is Trevor Cox.
Trevor, and you're representative of the British Legion? Or?
No, I'm not. I'm fortunately not young enough to be in the forces during the war, but I'm over here to place a wreath at the grave of my great uncle, who was killed in the First World War. And then we've been here 2 or 3 times before, but never seen this, because it's only been inaugurated this year.
Absolutely.
And so we'd like to. It's great to catch up with the people who are organising it. It's a superb memorial to
Absolutely.
what happened at the end of the Second World War.
Well, I'm glad
It's never been forgotten.
Absolutely, I'm glad you can make it over. And your question as to if you can get a copy of this video, it's being broadcast now on Facebook, and it'll be available on Facebook and on the welovenormandy.com website, and I'll make sure that we get a link to you after the event.
Excellent, thanks very much.
You're
indeed.
very welcome.
Well done, thank you.
Have you spoken to Anne?
I have indeed. Anne, I have not, no.
Her father was in the landing.
Oh, right. Are we starting now?
Yeah, we're assembled now.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're assembled, please.
Okay, everyone's starting to assemble now. Just while we're waiting the final moments, you can see the fabulous architecture, this neoclassical architecture of the memorial. 4,000 tons of stone, of limestone, were used in the production and the construction of the memorial. Architect Liam O'Connor. And the total cost of the project was something around £30 million sterling. Here the wreaths beginning to arrive.
shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. When you go home, tell them of us, and say, for your tomorrow, we gave ours today.
I am delighted to welcome everybody here on this very special day in this very special place. We are commemorating the end of World War I and the Armistice Day, which is now the 11th of the 11th, 1918, and we continue to commemorate not only World War I, but also World War II. Therefore, there is a close relationship between the Second World War, the commemoration of Normandy, and the D-Day event to which we will be referring later on this morning. I will now ask Kate to continue this affair.
Loving God, as we gather here today, our hearts are full of memories of friends and comrades who served under arms in the great wars of the last century. We come to remember those who fell in battle and those who, while they did not die, offered their bodies, minds, hearts and energies, fighting for a better world. We ask, Lord, that you would grace us with your presence, that you would help us in our pain, and that you would hear our prayers and have regard for our thoughts this day. Bless us and bless all those who gave the best of themselves for our country. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Then, taken from Psalm 77, the waters saw you, God. The waters saw you and writhed. The very depths were convulsed. The clouds poured down water. The heavens resounded with thunder. Your arrows flashed back and forth. Your thunder was heard in the whirlwind. Your lightning lit up the world. The earth trembled and quaked. Your path led through the sea, your way through the mighty your footprints were not seen, and you led your people like a flock. The Lord's Prayer, together please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
For thine
For
is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Would anyone like to lay wreaths here?
Now, may we now move to belong to the memorial of the three soldiers. Please come in.
Well, such a moving ceremony. We're now going through the memorial to the sculpture of the three infantry soldiers by the British sculptor David Williams Ellis, and we'll continue the ceremony there with that fabulous view over Gold Beach and the Mulberry Harbour.
This part of this commemoration is devoted to over-the-top World War I. My grandfather served in World War I. He was born in 1870 and had 31 years under Queen Victoria. He was a reservist in 1916, but because he was in mid-40s, he did not deploy to the Somme. As part of the London Division, his responsibilities were to train lines of horses in Hyde Park to draw heavy loads on the Somme battlefield. My father, then aged 18, enlisted also in the London Division, and this time in the Royal Scots Division. In 1983, myself and my wife Valerie explored or tried to locate where the London Division were deployed on the Somme. We visited the Somme and we found where the division was deployed, and we walked through no man's land to the objective of Highwood. It was an incredible experience, and I was delighted to feel my family very much on the Somme those years ago. But don't mind me sitting. I'm going to read you a letter sent from a young officer in 1916. It was to be the last letter he was ever to write. Second Lieutenant John Sherwin Engel, 16th London Division, aged 20, to his parents. My dearest mother and dad, I'm writing this letter the day before the most important moment of my life, the moment which, I must admit, I have never prayed for, like thousands of others have, but nevertheless, a moment which, now it has come, I would not back out for all the money in the world. I would not back out for all the money in the world. The day is almost dawned when I shall really do my little bit in the cause of civilization. Tomorrow morning, I shall take my men whom I've got to love, and who I think has got to love me, over the top to do our bit in the first attack, in which the London Territorials have taken a part as a whole unit. I am sure you will be very pleased to hear I am going over with the Westminsters. The old regiment has been given the most ticklish task in the whole of the division. I am very proud of my section because it is the only section in the whole of the machine gun company that is going over the top. And my two particular guns have been given the most advanced and therefore most important positions of all, an honour that is coveted by many. So, you can see I have cause to be proud, inasmuch as the moment that counts, I am the officer who is entrusted with the most difficult task. I took my communion yesterday with dozens of others who are going over tomorrow, and never have I attended a more impressive service. I've placed my soul and body in God's keeping, and I am going into battle with his name on my lips, full of confidence and trusting implicitly in him. I have a strong feeling I shall come through safely. But nevertheless, should it be God's holy will to call me away, I am quite prepared to go. I should not wish for a finer death, and you, dear mother and dad, will know that I died doing my duty to my God, my country, and my king. I ask that you should look upon it as an honor that you have given a son for the sake of king and country. I wish I had time to write more, but time presses. Fear, I must close now. Au revoir, dear mother and dad. Fondest love to all those I love so dearly, especially yourselves. Your devoted and happy son, Jack. Let us now move in this direction, and we'll stop halfway, and I would like somebody to volunteer after me to read 5 names taken from those whom attract your attention. Please follow. Here we are now. I'm reading 5 names. Somebody please volunteer to read further 5. Cole, C.G. Freeman, H.M. Hamilton, J.D.W. James, I. Jeffrey, J.J.
Lamb, E.C. Lancaster, R.S. Lewis, A.H. Limbert, K. McLeod, D.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
We'll now read a poem called Normandy.
Normandy. It was on a D-Day morning, the time was 6:15 when a group of British Tommies stormed the shores of Normandy. It was on that D-Day morning, when the invasion had begun, that a gallant British Tommy fell down to a Spandau gun. His comrades gathered around him, wet faces with tears they shed, and they heard his dying message, and this is what he said. Will my soul go back to England? Will it reach old blighty shores? Will it find that little village in the place where I was born? Tell me this before I die, Jim. Will my soul in England be? For I fought and died for England, for her rights and liberty.
Please follow now to the French memorial, which is to the end here.
My left, quick, hot.
Well, we're now making our way to the French memorial, which commemorates the lives lost from the French population during the Battle of Normandy. And from there, Mr. Commander Miller will continue his oration.
En ce jour, nous avons l'honneur de déposer une gerbe pour rendre hommage aux citoyens français de cette région décédés des suites des actions de juillet à fin août 1944. They will lay the wreath.
Standard.
Can you read the poem? You read the poem from the 9-year-old.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You ready? There will now be a poem written for this occasion by a 9-year-old person back in England who knew what was going to happen today and where.
poppy, a day to remember. The grass is moist, the air is thin, the fighting is about to begin. Across the field we go, will we make it? I don't know. When we march along proud, we feel those who are injured hope to heal. With our guns held tight, we begin to fight, risking their lives so that we can thrive. With these poppies we remember and celebrate each November. Never forget. Written by Tilly Nolan, age 9.
Let us now move slowly along to there. Do follow. Carmichael J. Causey AC. Charleston G. Clark CW. Coates FA. Who else would like to read 5 names?
Brown A. Burgess EWA. Carter HO. Chapman R. Clark DC.
D-Day veteran Cyril Cross. Come and stand in memory of men who fought and died. They gave their lives in Normandy. Remember them with pride. Soldiers, airmen, sailors, airborne and marines, who in civil life were tailors and men who worked machines. British, Canadians, and men from USA, forces from the Commonwealth, they were all there on that day. To Juneau, Sword, Utah, beaches of renown, also Gold and Omaha, that's where the ramps went down. The battle raged in Normandy, many lives were lost. The war must end in victory, and this will be the cost. When my life is over and I reach the other side, I meet my friends from Normandy and shake their hands with pride. We'll now move backwards and back to where we started.
By the left, quick, march.
Well, the crowd's now making their way back to the centre of the memorial. If you tuned in during those last few minutes, you're watching a broadcast of the ceremony, the Remembrance ceremony from the British Normandy Memorial here in Normandy above Gold Beach. I'm Patrick Hillier, and this is Virtual D-Day from welovenormandy.com. Some very moving moments there during the readings from Commander Miller and others. And now I think they're going to assemble in the centre of the memorial, in the middle of the Union flag, if you like. Difficult to show you from here, but if you look on the internet or the Normandy Memorial Trust website, you'll see aerial photographs of this site and its layout, which resembles the Union flag. So I think the ceremony is drawing to a close, but still some final words. Thank you very much for staying tuned. At this point it would be a good moment to go and take a look at that fabulous view from the statue of the 3 infantry soldiers, and we'll see if we can get a good glimpse of the artificial mulberry harbour at Armistice below. There you are, looking out onto the English Channel, across Gold Beach, town of Armistice in the distance, and the remains of the caissons of the Mulberry Harbour, perfectly visible today on this wonderful sunny day. And the English Channel looks as calm as a mill pond. Does give you an impression of the location of the memorial if you've never been, right above Gold Beach. And I think we now have some final words from Commander Miller.
The magnificent men of the Airborne Division that played a major role in the opening of this campaign, but later throughout the war they continued to fight on every theatre there was. My war, I can remember the declaration of the war in September 1939. I was quite young then, I was 9, and I was with a friend in his garden, and his mother came out and said, "War has been declared, you must go home." And on my way home, the air raid sirens sounded for us all to know what was coming in due course. I can recall the Dunkirk event and the evacuation. I can recall vividly seeing the Battle of Britain with the Hurricanes and Spitfires, piloting by many aged 18 and from every Commonwealth country that there was at that time. I can recall the enlisting of the Home Guard, which did not in any way resemble Dad's army. They were soldiers who were too old to enlist in World War II, but all served in World War I. Their medals showed that, and they could still march well. I recall the Blitz in London, night after night, lighting up the sky. I can remember bombers coming over, night after night, from France. Frightening experience. We were living close to Hawker Aircraft Company that at that time were building Hurricanes, and later Hawker Typhoon, which was to play a major part after June 1944. I recall the V-1 Doodlebug and became a victim of that. I recall V-2 missiles that came out from space, and there were 3,000 that landed in London, and my grandparents were evacuated to where we lived, just outside London. I can remember vividly to this day the clear skies that we enjoyed this morning, but in double British summertime, from 10 p.m. to midnight, the sky full of Lancaster bombers on their way, 1,000 bomber raids to eliminate the industries of Germany and to close the war. I can recall the Airborne Division being trained in Denham Airport in Tiger Moths, and then when qualified were transferred to Heston to qualify in piloting the Hawser gliders for D-Day and beyond. They were towed by Whitley airplanes and then released over my house for them to make their way to Heston, where they were based, which is now London Airport. I have a most wonderful poem to read now. Of the Airborne Division. The hour is go. One's eye closed tight and families fade when going to war which evil men made. Too anxious and frightened, we don't let it show, for the day is approaching when the airbornes must go. Each day now rolls past. We wait just the same. D-Day is near, and for this we all came. The hour grows near. Each man feels it inside, and soon we'll be falling with nowhere to hide. Our eyes are now down, and the chatter is the same. Each weapon is loaded, no longer a game. Jumpers gather round and bow your heads low. Europe awaits, and their hour is go. Planes rumble past as we wait our turn to fly over waters we have yet to earn. Checked buckles and straps leave nothing to chance. The jump master stands, calls, "Welcome to France!" Flak turns to fire in the blackest of night. Too low, too fast, can't jump from this height. There's no turning back. The risk has to be taken. Free fall into hell. Paratroopers forsaken. Jumpers hold tight. Scattered prayers to survive. We'll hit the ground soon, whether dead or alive. As feet touch the ground, each soldier turns on. Confusion and fear are beaten and gone. The enemy is close, and sad they don't know. The airborne is here, and it's time they must go. The hour is now. Hitler's had his chance. On St. Michael's wings, we're taking back France. Now, Kate, would you close?
Living God, we remember those whom you have gathered from the storm of war into the peace of your presence. May that same peace calm our fears, bring justice to all peoples, and establish harmony among the nations. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. God grant to the living grace, to the departed rest, to the Church, the Queen, the Commonwealth, and all mankind, peace and concord, and to us and all his servants, life everlasting. The blessing of God Almighty, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be upon you, be upon us, and remain with us forever. Amen.
Good people, that ends this commemoration. Thank you all for your loyal support and for us to celebrate or commemorate this event as one unit in this most beautiful part of France, in this perfect sea that has seen extraordinary experiences from time to time, now in total peace and thank you again.
Turn to the right, dismiss.
Hope you appreciated that. I know we had hundreds of viewers during the ceremony, and conditions could not be better here at Gold Beach and the British Normandy Memorial. This recording will be available on Facebook and on the welovenormandy.com website. There's a link on both of those platforms to the Royal British Legion Poppy Appeal, and as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, today we're appealing for donations to the Royal British Legion that does so much to help veterans of the Second World War and the conflicts and the subsequent conflicts. So thank you very much indeed. I hope to see you again on a future virtual D-Day broadcasts in the very near future, hopefully. We'll certainly be doing some before Christmas. And if you'd like to subscribe, which is free, you can click on the We Love Normandy website link you'll see on the Facebook page, and we'll keep you informed of all future events. So that's about it from me. I hope to see you on the next broadcast. But for the meantime, I'll leave you with a few images here of this fabulous view of Gold Beach and the Mulberry Harbour. And just say au revoir, à bientôt, and see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.